the 2008 Ford Focus. The Focus has been largely revised for 2008. They've given the engine just a little bit more horsepower. It's up to 140, and they've done that without reducing any of the fuel economy, although the rating is a little bit down for 2008 just based on a difference in the way the EPA is measuring those things these days. As always, the Focus generally competes in the most affordable category of automobile. As such, the materials are a little cheapish and the quality really isn't up to snuff. You can do a little better in those regards, I think, in certain other brands without spending much more money, if at all. And this still is one of the unfortunate vehicles that is still saddled with rear drum brakes when you get four-wheel discs in so many other cars these days. Although anti-lock brakes are standard on this vehicle, which is something you generally don't get in any of the competitors. For 2008, Ford also dropped the hatchback version of the Focus and replaced it with a coupe. This is sort of unfortunate in the fact that hatchbacks are starting to come back into style these days, and Ford has kind of missed the boat on that one. Still, the sedan is and probably will remain the most popular version of any car in America. Regardless of any other feature, however, the Focus does come with one thing that you can't get in any other brand of vehicle, no matter what you pay, and that's the new Ford Sync system. The Sync was developed with Ford and Microsoft, and it is a Ford exclusive for at least a year, when it may be sold by other brands under a different name. The rear end of the Ford Focus has certainly been enhanced quite a bit. It's a much nicer look, and this, as the SES top of the line, this does have a key fob for a power remote you can use to unlock the trunk. You just push this blue button and the trunk opens. And Ford claims to be pretty proud of this trunk. You can see it's got a nice wide opening. It's a little bit taller liftover height than you might get in some of the competitors. They do put the hinges on the outside of the trunk, which is nice. You don't get the suitcase crusher hinges, so more of the trunk is actually useful. The floor is wide and flat. You can see this does have the optional subwoofer, which does take up quite a bit of space here. You can also fold down the seats. Unfortunately, there's no way to lock the seats, so you don't get any security in this vehicle. You get essentially the exact same security you would in a hatchback vehicle. And it's very easy to fold the seat down, and the seatbelt's not in the way. You pull one strap and just fold it right down. Of course, folding the seat back is just as easy as folding it up. There you go. Okay, it's a very tight fit when we have this front seat all the way back, but then again, the front seat is back farther than necessary for most people. My knees are always touching the back. But these seats are very high up off the floor. I can get my feet underneath them very easily, which gives me more practical toe room. You can see there is a map pocket behind the passenger seat. There is nothing behind the driver's seat. And there is no armrest. There is a lot of headroom here, though, in this car. The way they've made this kind of a tall car, there's quite enough room here for the torso of a 6-footer without any problem at all. Okay, this car is also equipped with the ambient lighting, which is even in the rear seat footwell and in the cup holders. See, there's the LED. It's blue LED in the cup holder. There's also one next to it on either side on the footwell. Okay, we have Ford's black on white instrumentation. This gets fairly colorful at night, actually. It's multicolored. It's got the ice blue, it's got red, and some kind of gray going on. You notice how when we started this engine, you could see things kind of shake. This is a pretty rough engine these days. Most manufacturers have gotten smoother things. Hey, this is the top of the line car, so we have a leather covered steering wheel, and it has a nice feel to it, good thumb notches. It also tilts, but it does not telescope. We also have plenty of buttons on the steering wheel to control. Here on the left side we have the cruise control buttons, and on the right side we control the audio system. And actually this has the Ford Sync system, which I'm going to be talking about in detail. But this is where you control it over here on these buttons on the steering wheel. And of course we have a fairly loud center horn button. You can see the display up here. We have an LED display that's pretty good. It's not the brightest display in the world when it's got sunlight on it, but it works fairly well most of the time, and it is positioned very well so you don't have to take your eyes off the road. You can see it says Sync. This is the part of the Ford Sync system. Sync is new for 2008, and it's being introduced with the 2008 Ford Focus, and it's a way to control multitude of devices. You can control a Bluetooth telephone, and you can do it by just pushing the talk button on the steering wheel, and it will connect, and you have a nice speaker system and a microphone in the rearview mirror. It actually works very well as a speakerphone. You can also connect it to, say, a Bluetooth streaming audio system. Say if you've got a Microsoft Zune or something that can actually send audio over Bluetooth, it can actually control your Bluetooth stereo system that way. And if you also have below some ports that you can for your MP3 player, it can control an iPod or a variety of other devices. And one of the really cool things about it is you can just take, say, a USB thumb drive like this one, and just plug it into the system, and it will actually play the music on it, and you can see what music is playing. As you can see with the top of the line system, we have an in-dash CD player with lots of presets to control things. However, this might not even be used that much because of the value of the sync system. You can see it says Bluetooth media stream. We actually can play music via the media stream. There's nothing on it right now, so what we can do is go to the menu button, and we can scroll through and we can play, and it says there's nothing there, so we can keep going and scroll through the menu and find select source, sync USB. We have something plugged into our USB port, and we just select that, and now it immediately tells us what's playing. And we can go through the menu, and we've selected our source. We can ask to play all. We can look for artists. We can go through different artists. I can go through different albums, Back to Black, Because of You. And it just tells us what our choices are. We can also do it by voice command.
USB, please say a command.
Play genre rock.
Playing genre rock.
So as you can see, it actually has a pretty good voice command system. I told it what to play. I told it to play all my rock music, and it's just going to go ahead and do that. Another feature it does, it will actually receive and read you your text messages. Your text messages will appear on that display on the dashboard, or the text to voice system will actually read you your text messages. When you get the sync system, you actually don't have to be looking down at your phone, at your iPod. You can do this all by voice command, or if you really don't like talking to your car, there's buttons on the steering wheel that let you access everything without having to take your eyes off the road. And this could be not just a convenience feature, but an important life-saving safety feature. You see, we have a pretty basic climate control system here. We can just turn it off with a center button. If we want to have air coming from the top vents, we just push that button. If we want it from two different places, we push that button. Fan speed, obviously, just rotate. The touch and feel on these buttons is pretty cheap, unfortunately. This is where just a few more cents per button might have really improved things. We have an info button here that just gives us the information on our instrument panel. It will tell us, basically you would just use this to switch to things like your trip meters. This is TCS, that's your traction control system. You can turn that off. And there's a few rare times when you would want to turn it off, such as when you had snow chains on your tires. And this is the interesting button that's unique to this car, and especially in this price class. This is the ambient lighting button. You press that and you can either turn the ambient lighting off or change the colors in the footwells and cup holders. Okay, as you can see, there's no lock in the glove box. There's really a lack of security in this car, and it's kind of a cheap material here, and there's no damping on the glove box. But it's large enough to be useful because and you're going to want that because you're going to have a lot of devices in here. Just so unfortunate that you can't actually lock your devices in the car. Your valet gets to own any devices that you do. Sun visors, pretty cheap feeling vinyl sun visors. They're pretty deep though. We do have a covered mirror, no lighting, and they go to the side. They do not extend, so we leave about 3 inches of the window uncovered. And turning on our map lights is very simple. It's just a matter of poking the lights and they turn on. Couldn't be easier than that. And that's the Ford Focus from CarVideoReview.com. Thank you for watching.